Burundi's parliament has rejected a UN resolution seeking to deploy a contingent of policing troops to the East African country beset by conflict. Lawmakers there objected to the deployment, saying that they were not consulted and that the security situation has improved. Our UN correspondent Lilling Tan reports from New York.
The objection to the deployment is the latest from Burundi's parliament and echoes a similar rejection from the government 2 weeks ago. Both the Senate and the National Assembly on Thursday rejected the UN Security Council resolution from July that approved a 228-strong police force to Burundi to monitor the security situation there for 1 year. In two separate statements, Burundi lawmakers said the council's decision was taken without consulting the Burundi government and without its consent. They also said that the Security Council did not take into consideration that Burundi's political and security situation had returned to normal. Now, Burundi has been in turmoil since April 2015 when the country's president announced he was running for a third term, a move that critics said was unconstitutional. President Pierre Nkurunziza's decision to run and his eventual, although controversial, election were met with protests and deadly clashes with security forces. Hundreds of people have been killed and thousands more have been displaced by the conflict. As reports of human rights violations by Burundi security forces emerged, compounded by warnings of the prospect of genocide and a potential return to civil war, the UN Security Council in July authorized the countrywide police deployment. At that time, council members, often divided about how to respond, had managed to agree on deploying the police component to serve as the council's eyes and ears on the ground, to monitor human rights violations and abuses, to serve more as observers rather than protectors. But under the UN Charter, the UN Security Council cannot send troops to a country without first getting consent from its government, and that it does not have. So what's next? Well, for now, the Council will keep its focus on the other aspects of that July resolution, including persuading the Burundi government to cooperate with the African Union's human rights observers, to refrain from further violence or action that would jeopardize the country's peace and stability, and to respect and protect human rights. Lilling Tan, CCTV, New York.